Deep in the countryside, shrouded in mist and mystery, stood Blackwood Manor, a sprawling estate abandoned for over a century. The townsfolk avoided it, sharing stories of its tragic past, rumors of a family torn apart by betrayal and madness. Those who dared to approach the manor at night claimed to hear soft sobs echoing through the halls and see flickering lights in the windows, even though no one had lived there for decades. One crisp autumn evening, a group of friends, Maya, Tom, Sarah, and Jake, decided to explore the manor. They were intrigued by the legends and sought adventure. Armed with flashlights and a camera, they made their way up the overgrown path, excitement mingling with trepidation. As they approached the grand entrance, the door creaked open as if inviting them inside. The interior was a shadowy maze of dust and decay. Broken furniture lay scattered across the floor, and the air was thick with the scent of mold and dampness. Maya shivered, feeling a chill that had nothing to do with the autumn air. "Let's split up," Tom suggested, eager to explore. "We can cover more ground that way." Reluctantly, the group agreed. They each took a flashlight and ventured in different directions, the beam of light cutting through the darkness. Maya wandered into the main hall, where an enormous chandelier hung precariously from the ceiling, cobwebs draping like tattered curtains. As she examined the faded portraits lining the walls, she felt a sudden cold breeze, making her hair stand on end. The eyes of the painted figures seemed to follow her, a sensation that sent shivers down her spine. She shook off the feeling and moved deeper into the manor. Meanwhile, Jake and Sarah explored the library, where books lay open, pages yellowed and curling. They began reading the titles aloud, laughing nervously at the odd assortment of volumes. But then, they stumbled upon an old diary, its leather cover cracked and worn. Curious, they flipped it open, revealing entries that chronicled the life of Eliza Blackwood, the last resident of the manor. "Listen to this," Jake read aloud. "I can hear them at night, the whispers of my family. They haunt me, demanding to be freed from their suffering. I fear the darkness is closing in." "What do you think she meant?" Sarah asked, her voice a whisper. "I don't know, but it sounds like something terrible happened here," Jake replied, glancing around nervously. As they pondered the diary's words, Maya, exploring the upstairs, suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of dread. She paused in front of a door at the end of the hallway, its surface warped and peeling. With a deep breath, she pushed it open and stepped into a dark room. The air was heavy, and an oppressive silence enveloped her. In the center of the room stood an ornate mirror, its frame intricately carved with designs that seemed to writhe and shift in the dim light. Drawn to it, Maya approached, entranced. As she gazed into the mirror, her reflection began to warp, revealing not just her face but shadowy figures behind her. Ghostly silhouettes of a man, a woman, and a child. The sorrow in their eyes was palpable, and they seemed to reach out to her, pleading silently. "Maya!" a voice called from behind her, snapping her back to reality. She spun around to see Tom standing in the doorway, his expression pale. "You need to see this." Reluctantly tearing her gaze from the mirror, Maya followed him to the library, where Jake and Sarah were huddled together, their faces pale. "You won't believe what we found," Jake said, his voice shaky. They gathered around the diary, and Tom added, "We need to figure out what happened to this family. It's like they're trapped here." Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the manor, shaking the walls. The friends jumped, hearts racing. "We should stick together," Sarah suggested, anxiety creeping into her voice. The group agreed and ventured back toward the main hall, but the atmosphere had changed. The air felt charged, and shadows danced along the walls as if alive. They could hear whispers now, soft but growing louder, wrapping around them like tendrils of smoke. "Help us! Set us free!" The voices seemed to cry, echoing through the halls. Maya felt a pull toward the mirror once more. "I think it's connected to them," she said, her heart pounding. "We need to find a way to help them." Determined, the group returned to the room with the mirror. As they gathered around, they noticed a small inscription at the bottom of the frame. "In truth lies release." "What does that mean?" Tom asked, uncertainty etched on his face. "I think we need to uncover the truth of what happened to them," Maya replied. Maybe we can break the curse. With renewed determination, they decided to search the manor for more clues about Eliza Blackwood and her family. They split up again, racing against the growing darkness and the oppressive whispers that threatened to consume them. In the attic, Maya discovered an old trunk filled with letters and documents. They chronicled Eliza's descent into madness, detailing her family's tragedies, loss, betrayal, and despair. Each letter spoke of their struggles, of how the darkness had taken hold of them one by one. Armed with this knowledge, Maya rushed to find the others, her heart pounding with urgency. I found it! The truth! Eliza's family was torn apart by greed and jealousy. They were never at peace. As she spoke, the mirror began to glow, its surface shimmering with energy. The whispers grew louder, a cacophony of anguish and longing. The figures appeared again, more vivid this time, their expressions a mixture of sorrow and hope. Speak their names, a voice urged, echoing through the room. Release us. With trembling voices, the group began to call out the names of Eliza, her husband, and their child. As they did, the energy in the room intensified, the mirror glowing brighter with each name spoken. Free us from the pain, Maya cried, her heart racing. We remember you! In that moment, a blinding light erupted from the mirror, enveloping the room. The shadows retreated, the whispers turning into joyful laughter as the ghostly figures stepped forward, their faces alight with gratitude. Thank you, they whispered, their voices now harmonizing in a sweet melody. You have set us free. With a final flash, the figures dissolved into the light, and the mirror returned to its ordinary state. The oppressive atmosphere lifted, leaving the room bathed in a warm glow. Breathless, the friends exchanged awed glances, knowing they had changed the fate of the Blackwood family forever. The manor, once a prison of sorrow, felt lighter, as if a weight had been lifted from its very foundations. As they stepped outside, the sun began to rise, casting golden rays over the estate. Blackwood Manor stood silent now, its dark past laid to rest. The friends shared a sense of accomplishment, a bond forged in the depths of the supernatural. From that day forward, they carried the story of the Blackwood family with them, ensuring that their legacy would never be forgotten. The whispers of the manor had transformed from cries of despair to songs of freedom, echoing in the hearts of those who dared to uncover the truth.